Welcome to this little talk, lecture on the three jewels and Plato. My name is Axel Järvengren. I'm from Gothenburg, where I studied a master in economics and also engineering, which someone in the audience also has done. And I'm a practicing Jain. I practice Jainism. And in Jainism, there is the concept of three jewels. And we will start with writing something down, which is called Jiv, which means soul, and Ajiv, that is non-soul. And in the Jiv, there are three jewels from a practical point of view. From the absolute point of view, the Jiv doesn't have any distinction in its pure form. But from a practical point of view, there are three jewels in it. In Ajiv, there is Kal, which is time. There is Pudgal, which is materia. There is Adharma, which means medium of rest. Like the floor I'm standing on right now is Adharma. It's giving me rest. And then Dharma, which means medium of motion. So for a fish swimming through the water acts as dharma. It lends a medium for movement. And then there is loka, which means space. So time, materia, adharma, dharma, and space. And the loka is depicted like this, with the three jewels here. This is the universe. It's seen as the universe. And now to what is the three jewels? There is perception, knowledge, and conduct, or right perception, right knowledge, and right conduct in Jain doctrine. And it's called Samyak Darshan, Samyak Jnana, Samyak Charitra. Perception, knowledge, and conduct. Now, this may seem differently from different persons. But we are onto the problem of the three jewels. And I will go into a little mathematics here, and then we'll come to Plato, and then if we have time, we'll go into a story, the father, the son, and the goddamn uncle, if we have time. Which is a story that tells about these three jewels, or three parts of the soul, or the tripartite soul, as Plato called it, the psyche, the tripartite psyche, ethos, logos, pathos. But I'm running ahead of myself a little bit. we'll play a little mathematics here. This is 9, and then of course is 3. Plain and simple. Everyone who has done their first grade mathematics knows this, something like that. But in India, they have another way of looking at mathematics. India is, of course, where the numerals, these 1 to 9 numerals come from, south of Himalaya. We don't know where and when. But 10 can be written as 10 like this. It's separated. And this becomes 0. And this would lead one to think that the square root of 0 is equal to 9, which is, of course, is not. But just as an introduction to that, this is not so simple as it may seem. If I would try to depict the Milky Way, here is the spiral galaxy that we live in. From this I'm playing a little bit here, so bear with me. From this we could have 3 as the square root of the spiral galaxy would equal to 3. Why is this important? Because this loka, in the three-dimensional depiction of it, can contain the image of the spiral galaxy. To meditate on this loka, one can also do what is called samsthana meditation, meditating on a man standing legs apart like this, containing the whole loka. And of course, the 3 jewels. This gives us leading that the 3 jewels are related to the head. They are here in the head. And if we would take a look at the sun, this Sirius, star, and then the Pleiades. This, to me, it looks like 3. And in the spiral galaxy, if we are somewhere in the upper part of the galaxy, the 3 star these 3 star groups, Sun, Sirius, and Pleiades, they go together like 3. And at some point here, I'm going to go over to Plato. But before I go do that, we will see the 9 planets. Mercury, Venus, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Pluto. Here we have 9 planets. And we have three jewels. So getting a glimpse of the 3 jewels is not so easy as we might assume. And the square root of 9 equals 3 contains, if one uses what I put here, this in particular, it contains more than meets the eye. Coming to Plato, he spoke of the 3-partite psyche in the Republic. And it was called Logos and Eros and Thymos. In rhetorics, this would be ethos, logos, pathos. Ethos, where you're coming from, your darshan, your perception. Logos, your knowledge. Pathos, your emotions, your action, your conduct. And Plato, he came from something called the Mediterranean hemisphere. Something like this. With the Nile that had been running since time immemorial, and the Giza complex outside of Cairo. Which also has 3. These are the three pyramids of Giza. I will make them a little larger. They deserve that. From this area, they had been running a story called Osiris, Horus, and Seth as the imperial cult, the pharaohic cult, and Nile cult, maybe rather. Every year when the Nile flooded, it was related to Sirius rising helically together with the sun, which would lead the Nile to flood. And a boat with the Horus idol would be taken from, I think it was from Giza, down to the world's largest temple complex. I think it's called the Temple of Man in English. And Osiris, he was the king, Horus was his son, and Seth was his uncle. It was Osiris' brother and Horus' uncle. What I mean to say with this is they had been running this story of the Father, the Son, and the goddamn uncle for thousands of years. And the Giza pyramids is one temple, or not temple, but pyramids showing this. Anyway, Egypt came up to its greatest point in geographical extent during the New Kingdom, around 1500 BC. And Pharaoh Akhenaten became the pharaoh. And he instituted monotheism, a kind of monotheism, the worship of Aten disk. And this seems to be related to the first alphabet. The alphabets later on spread here into Phoenician, Hebrew also. It spread here to Athens, the Greek world, Greek, and it spread to the Latin alphabets. This is a little curiosa, but since we're writing in alphabetic language, it makes sense to mention it. And with this said, I might go into this with the Father, the Son, and the goddamn uncle. But before I do that, in Athens, Plato claimed descendants, intellectual or traditional descendants from the Pythagoreans, which in turn were or claimed descendants from the Orphics, which was a wandering monkhood, white-clad monkhoods. And Plato's or Pythagoras, he had studied in Egypt, probably by going into the intricacies of the pyramids, etc. But what we are left with when it comes to Plato is, or rather, the three-part soul, the ethos, logos, pathos, which later on, or nowadays, relates to the mind. In my understanding, if this is a head and a mind, we have three parts. We have the pineal gland, we have the pons, and we have the pituitary gland. This relates to the three jewels depicted as a man standing, having the shape of Loka, the whole universe, the whole Milky Way, at least, not the neighboring galaxies, the way I see it. But ethos, logos, pathos, perception, knowledge, conduct. So, with this said, we covered a lot of ground, but I will heed myself. I don't think we have time for this. More of the Father, the Son, and the goddamn uncle. If one is interested, one can go into this with. Yeah. Now, where to begin? Osiris, Set, Horus. Why do I call Set the goddamn uncle? It's because he kills his brother. Which of course is to mankind the most horrible thing you can do, the most sinful thing you can do, murdering your own brother. Horus, he goes up to fight Set and wins. And this is like a story of the psyche. When the father dies, when your perception dies, and the goddamn uncle, some other logos is taking over. You're not in control. Somebody else has taken your place in your mind, and it's up for the son to reclaim its role. Coming into logos again. This story, of course, Osiris, Set, Horus. I don't know it as it was told, and I'm sure it changed during the millennia, and it has its flaws and so on. But that's a little glimpse into this, the father, the son, and the goddamn uncle story. So with that said, thank you so kindly for listening.